And 3, 2, and while we wait for Facebook, there it is. Facebook's just ticked over, so we are now officially live yet again for another episode of the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew.
I'm Jody.
I'm Nikki.
I'm Dave.
Tim.
We're all here for another Sunday session. Tonight we're going to chat about the latest releases from a local band called Narayan, and then we got the latest from Green Jelly or Green Jello, depending on which one you want to go by, and also Mammoth WVH, which is Wolfgang Van Halen's debut album. We're going to talk about that tonight. We'll have a hot topic in a moment to do with, is vinyl too expensive these days? The gig guide will be taken by the lovely ladies with us in just a second as well. If you want to check out any of the music, or there's a petition to keep community TV on the air as well, there's a whole lot of links in the description of this, including those for the gig guide that's going to be getting announced very shortly. So hit the description of this, whether you're watching live now or on repeat later on, or listen to the audio. Hit the description, check out the links, give us a follow, check out the music, and check out our wonderful sponsors too while you're at it. A big thank you to Squidding, Scrimping, Alt, Colt, and Rockstar Finance. Thank you so much for your support. Like I was saying, give them a follow too. And yeah, that's all the usual stuff. If you want to help us directly, then yeah, check out our Patreon page, or we have a PayPal link, and those are both in the description as well. And yeah, we'll get to the gig guide in just a moment. But first things first, how are you going?
I'm great. This is a long weekend,
Yep.
which would have been better if we were able to go further than 25 kilometres past our house. But yeah, the plans for taking the convertible for a cruise didn't happen, which it ended up being really, really shit and wet weather. So it wouldn't have been as a convertible weather either. But no, I'm actually really excited about having an extra day off work though. Yeah, no, don't normally sort of mind a Sunday, getting up, go to work Monday, but I'm really glad tomorrow is the day off.
Dogs will still wake us up the normal time anyway.
Of course.
How about you, Nikki? You're enjoying the long weekend, aren't you?
I'm a bit cheeky. I've got Tuesday off as well, ring-a-ding-ding. And I did all my Tuesday jobs on Saturday, so I'm kind of at a loose end now, so I've got to find ways to amuse myself.
I think you'll
As one who's been lucky enough to go for a ride in the convertible with you two fine people, I look forward
If
to
you
the
would
day.
live closer, I'd swing by and pick you up, gorgeous girl.
Oh, my heart. I really hope that happens soon. I had the best time in the back with Andrew. Yeah, I fucking did. And
It was serious hair blowing around with all of us in the car.
I was only in the back with Andrew because Jodie's family took precedence in the front seat, which is totally understandable. But I cannot wait for a ride in the cruise movie again. And, that's it. I'm hanging on. I'm doing the fucking same old shit. I'm not vinyls, so I can't wait for the hot topic because I've got lots to say about that too.
Nice.
Really? Oh, why?
Because you do as well. We're talking about it later on. Anyway, Dave, how about you? How you going, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Had the last 5 days off work, so I'm feeling human. It's pretty good.
I like the team today.
You said 4. Oh my god.
It's good. Got plenty to do. But yeah, I had to get my car repaired on Friday because I was hearing grinding metal on metal. And that was brake pads and the disc, so it all had to be changed over. Sounds a lot better now, which is reassuring when you hit brake and you don't hear a metal on metal sound.
Yeah.
Apart from that,
All the photos. The grind disc.
Otherwise
brake.
known as the anvil brakes.
Yeah.
but that's all cool now. Apart from that, just usual, listening to music, watching wrestling. Watched the Nightwish stream, the live thing that they did a few weeks ago.
Okay.
That was fucking amazing. But yeah, Epic is doing one last night or tonight or something. Yeah, I gotta check that one out too. Yeah.
Nice.
You can't get the live music, you can always stream it now.
Yeah, that's a good thing
Yeah.
for all.
Live 2021.
Yep. What were you trying to say before, Nikki, about the car or something, a photo?
I was just asking if Dave repaired the disc brake himself. I saw some photos, and if you did, power to you. If you didn't, power to you as well.
Well, I watched. I reckon I could do it again next time if I had to.
Dave likes it.
Warning, on metal. It's probably time to check the disc brakes. Community service announcement. Thank you, Dave.
It gets down to that point where it's grinding metal on metal. Yeah.
Okay. Tim, any thoughts to add to grinding metal on metal, or you got other things to say?
Not really.
Okay, how are you going in general then?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Just cruising along. Trying to keep warm, and sucks for everybody who doesn't. Sucks for everybody who doesn't have power at the moment.
Oh, really?
People who see that who happen to not have power. Hope you're doing all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thoughts to those without power tonight. It's been going on for a few days. Hopefully it's going to come back online the next couple of days, but we'll we used to live out that side of town too, so beautiful area, but when things like this go wrong, it takes a long time to get things back to normal. So hopefully we're all keeping out there.
My brother's in Croydon and he only got his power back today after 4 days. Literally.
That's what I was just putting the comments here too, Michael. Thanks for jumping in and joining us tonight. Michael, he's just come back and said power back today after 4 days. So it's taking a bit of time for everyone out there at the moment. Michael has joined us as well. I think this is we don't often. You have to come over and help me with my gearbox in my car, Dave. So there you go. Dave's being subbed out as a mechanic.
I'm not qualified or anything, but I'll give it my best go.
For his quality of work, so don't blame us for that. Just a disclaimer there to begin with.
Not hard work during door.
Yeah, no. Dave's going solo on that one. He likes playing with gearboxes solo.
I'm not saying Elton, fuck.
Not by
Mike, you
yourself.
supply the whiskey and I'll fix the car.
Yeah, well, either way, things are going to be lubed up, so we'll move on. Benjamin's jumped in today, guys. Hey, Benjamin, thanks for jumping in again tonight with us. Sally, when Nikki made a comment about the backseat of the car, I think that's when that WoW reference came through. But she's also said hello, Pete. So good. Thank you for joining us.
Love you, Sally. You're a beautiful
and
dude.
same with Nudes, another regular of ours. Nudes is with us again tonight. Okay, Paul has jumped in. Paul from Melbourne, thank you for joining us tonight. Awesome to see some new faces coming into the chat here with us this time around. And Michael, Dave, you've got a done deal. So there you go. You guys are away. And Sally's something saying, "Oh, there we go." We all love Sally here. Sally's a good one. Yes,
Dropped out just then.
pretty much. Just for myself, there's not much to talk about really. Just another nice long weekend. Tim, you and I would not be looking forward to tomorrow in a few respects. I guess it'll be the end of an era.
We are going to get smacked.
I hope not, but fuck anyway.
I was going to say.
For bucks.
I'm hoping so, but the odds aren't good. The odds are pretty steep actually against us tomorrow. So
Yeah, I was going to say,
Not only that, like I spent a let's say decades, like because my family's split in two. There's half Collingwood supporters, half St Kilda supporters, right?
ouch. Yep.
So I spent, and when you're from Frankston, right, because St Kilda used to be the old catchment area for players here, right? So there's a lot of St Kilda supporters here. I used to hate our coach so much. Like, he was my most hated player of all time.
Wow.
Right up until he became the assistant coach. And I've met him a few times. Actually a nice bloke. But seeing him, like, coaching Collingwood just makes me a little bit sad.
Yeah.
Remember his trick in the G-string at the Brownlow?
The what?
Well, that was the old coach's wife. And, I mean, if you've seen his...
Sure. Wasn't that Bucks' Mrs. Tanya, someone in the G-string, the encrusted G-string? Yeah. Was that Bucks' Mrs.?
And if you've seen Buckley's new girlfriend, I'm sure he's doing fine.
He's not doing that himself.
Is he not with her anymore?
No, they divorced. I think the COVID bubble ruined a lot of families, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a few coaches came back to Melbourne.
I thought Bucks was with Tanya with the diamond encrusted G-string.
Nah, but he's got a new girlfriend and he's doing just fine.
Yeah.
He's not as good as you, though, honey.
No, not as good as me.
I was saying to Andrew off air, Collingwood, mate, they're like Liberal Labor, they're like black-white, there's polar feelings. You love them, you hate them. I don't hate Bucks, and I wish him well in his last game. And you cannot deny the guy's passion. Doesn't matter who you barrack for or what your feelings are. You cannot deny Bucks's commitment to that club.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's given, 28 years? Or
Something like that, yeah. It's been a long time. But tomorrow is another day. We'll see what happens. And Tim's jumped in to say Collingwood is certain is if this week's tipping is anything to go by. So, yeah, it's been a very wild round.
That's true.
We will see.
I've got one fucking tip this round, unless North Melbourne beat fucking Gold Coast. Please tell me North Melbourne.
No, that was a draw.
That was a draw, North Melbourne.
It was so nothing. It was the actual only tip I had up on everyone else. Anyway, whatever.
Well, that's all right. That means nobody got it.
Yeah, that's it pretty much. All right. Well, everything's good. The dogs are running around being silly, so we'll move on to the gig, guys, shall we,
we'll
Nikki?
move this on so I can get the dogs out.
All right, let's get back into it. Okay. Nikki's having fun with her long weekend, in case you can't tell, folks. So let's see what happens next. All right, over to you.
All righty. Well, this week's gig guide, in light of current circumstances, things may change between now and these dates, but Nikki, you can kick it off from there.
All right, Friday the 18th of June. Special shout out to my older brother Bill. Mwah. It's his birthday on the 18th of June. He is the man that fucking made me the woman I am today, and I don't say that lightly. But Friday the 18th of June at the Boogeyman Bar, we've got top Turnbuckle, so that 10 times drunk cunts. Top Turnbuckle, Rawtsim and Leaky Cat.
Leaky
Cat. Boogeyman Bar.
I think Nikki's a leaky cat tonight.
Wow.
Okay.
Friday, June the 25th, Shoppingtown Hotel, Carly Jewell, Fight the Sun, Assassins, and Reasons Why are playing.
Yeah. Oh, Nikki.
Did you
Nikki.
freeze?
Grand opening. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
go again. Go again. You're coming back in now. Go again.
Yes.
Hello? Is it me you're looking for? All right. Friday, 2nd of July. Friday, 2nd of July. You need to be at the grand opening of Deaf Nightclub. Now, Tom Nagara promised me this was a lineup that would make me cream my pants. Tom did not lie. It is true. So you are about to see Elm Street, Nick, you fucking hottie, Envenomed, Armoured Earth, and they're launching their EP, as well as Ironstone, DJ, and giveaways. Get your ass down there. I'll be down there. It's going to be amazing.
At the Bendigo, yep.
Oh, yeah, that too.
I'm like, yeah, you didn't follow.
Bendigo
Tell them. You're
Hotel.
telling them where to go, but
Yeah.
not to actually give them the venue. All right. Saturday, July the 3rd. Whole Lot of Love, Frankenbach, Rattleback, and Red Peril.
That'll be a cracker. That'll be fucking nuts in that venue.
Friday, July the Max Watts, King Parrot. Friday, July the 9th, Max Watts, King Parrot, motherfuckers. What an institution. What a band. They're there to spend like 10 years. Fucking get your ass there. That's all I've got.
That's all.
Beautiful.
Okay. Well, Friday, July the 16th at Stay Gold, Orpheus Omega are touring for the 10th anniversary of
Bleed the Way.
Bleed the Way. I don't know what.
I don't know why I said
Yep.
blessed.
Bleed the Way with special guest Triple Kill.
Nikki's excited about that one too, eh?
Yep. Frozen again.
Every time Nikki goes back to her computer, she freezes.
Stop touching the computer.
Hey, and if you like Orpheus Omega or Triple Kill, watch their pages. They've announced a Sydney show as well, and it's going to be fucking epic. You need to get there. All right, so we go to Saturday, July 24th at the Boogeyman Bar. Virgin Soldiers and Dirty Rats as part of the We Ain't Dead Yet tour. Unlike my tongue and my vocabulary, they are not dead. Get there.
On Saturday, September the 4th, Hell on the Bay 8th. Waiting for more info, but spread the word that they are kicking it off again.
Mm-hmm.
And frozen again.
Yeah, this is awesome. Yes, this is gold.
Young Service as part of their All for One 30th anniversary tour, but I don't have a date, so make
The
it
same
what
date.
you will.
So for those
Saturday, September the 4th.
Saturday, September 4th, Nikki, the Screaming Jets are playing Young Services Club in South Morang as part of their All for One 30th anniversary celebration tour. Saying that again because Nikki cut out about halfway through or missing the first half of that one. So,
Yes.
yeah, there we go. All right.
And the final one, Saturday, September the 18th at the Bendigo Hotel. Stalker from New Zealand are here on their Black Magic Terror Australian tour.
Mm.
Now, as always,
Yep.
lineups and events are subject to change, so keep up to date with those that interest you via Facebook or the links down below.
Yep. In the description for this one.
So, but yeah, things more than likely will change because we have no idea what's going on. I mean, Melbourne, they're easing up on restrictions, but
in theory.
But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No promises. We'll see what
next
happens.
week.
We'll go to the hot topic once again. Thank you for the entertaining rendition there, especially from Nikki with her antics and her dying tongue.
Nala.
Nala is trying to get something back there. I don't know if she's probably going to chew on a power cable herself. Wayne, our good friend Wayne has jumped in to say hello.
Hey,
Yep. And Brett's made a pertinent comment here saying Nikki on the vodka again with a whole lot of smiles. There we go. And Sally's jumped in saying King Parrot a killer. If you've not seen that band live, that is one band you must see live. Even if you're not a fan of the genre, it is something else to watch that band play live. So yes, do get down and see them live. Dogs,
I'm gonna.
what are you doing, dogs?
Come on, everybody.
All right.
Up.
Hi, Jodie, I love you.
No, she's coming back. She's coming back. She's just dealing with the dogs because they're going to chew on something they're not supposed to chew on, and then things are going to go really pear-shaped really quickly when we have a power surge or something like that, and the dog gets fried. So we're going to move on to the hot topic. Yeah, that wouldn't be good for anyone. They're staring at the window.
They're at the window, just like, what
are you doing? But yes, we'll get on to the hot topic. Tonight we're going to discuss, it was a question raised, I think in a chat or a comment or something recently about the cost of vinyl to buy, to create, whatever else. It's good we got Tim here for this one because he's recently gone through the process of creating a vinyl record. So the question being put is vinyl too expensive overall? And did you want to go first? Or should we throw to Nikki first? Which way do you want to do it?
Oh, I'll put my 2 cents worth in. Andrew and I were having this conversation earlier on today. And given that I'm of the era where your choices were to buy either vinyl or cassette, and the price was always comparable. There may have been $2 or $3 difference, but there was nothing astronomically different. So my thoughts, I mean, because we also, doing some research, and CDs, can cost up to around $30, but vinyl can cost up to anywhere between $50 to $70. And it's like, that's not, I don't know how much it does cost to press anymore, but I just not understanding such an astronomical change in why there is such a massive gap
between the other mediums and
vinyl. I mean, going back to what I was saying, like cassette vinyl when I was younger versus it's CD or vinyl now. Not even CD really. That's becoming obsolete. Yeah. So, but I'm not understanding why vinyl's costing $70. I mean, I know there's some that I've bought you that, they're 120, 150, and it's like, what the hell? Yeah.
I do appreciate it. For the record.
I'm glad. Lucky your birthday's only once a year.
Yeah, well, sucks to be you if it's more than once. But anyway.
But anyway, that's my 2 cents. I'm not understanding. Obviously, I don't know the background as to, the costs of pressing, but I just think not doing yourselves any favour if you're wanting people to buy it, pricing it so high. But that's me.
All right. Nikki, you wanted to have some things to say before on it, so what did you want to add to that?
Look, Look, as vinyl.
What?
And when it comes to local band, God, I hope you can hear this. Can you hear this?
Sort of coming through now. It was like you were talking backwards before. It was pretty awesome, but pretty strange at the same time. yeah. We're spinning the record backwards, as Dave said, yeah.
Right. When it comes to local vinyl, I have got a lot of it lately. Oh, God, you can't hear me, can you? This is really
You're coming in and out. It's almost like the record's playing and then you're spinning it backwards and then you're playing.
Hey, Nikki, are you playing the show somewhere on the screen? Because that's what it sounds like.
Sounds like it's coming back, yeah.
I actually have a genuine impassioned view on this, and it's really annoying.
Actually, I can hear you now.
Yeah, okay, keep going.
Right. I have bought Hidden Intent, The Babes, Eat the Damn Orange, Riff Raiders, Cicada Stone. You fucking name it, I've bought it. The Vendettas. I will pay every fucking time for local vinyl. And the reason why is, apart from the whole experience of vinyl, the crackle, the sound, it's amazing and experience, I support the fucking bands. I have contacts where I can buy secondhand vinyl. If I want to buy my Iron Maiden or Kiss or fucking Van Halen or Black Sabbath or whatever I'm after at the time, I've got contacts and ways to get the secondhand where I need it and how I need it. I don't think it's too expensive because I'm going to pay support local music. And there's two different streams here. There's buying back catalogue and old releases and reliving your childhood. And there's buying current and now and the Australian bands. I will pay every fucking day of the week to support a Hidden Intent, a Vendetta, an Eat the Damn Orange, a Riff Raiders, a Cicada Stone, the Babes. I've bought them all and I will, because to me, it's $50 instead of $30. I don't give a fuck. I'll pay for it because it means the world to me to hear it in that format, which is special, and to support the band. So that's just me.
I love that that's you, Nikki. I'm not sure that there's enough people out there who feel the same. That was my only thought.
Well,
I know that there's us, our crew, just about every person that we know that when we go out feel the same. But I'm just not as convinced that there's everybody else is on that same wavelength.
Oh, I think let's go to Tim, because Tim's just gone through the process of creating a vinyl record for Eat the Damn Orange. I'm not sure if you're doing the same thing with Arcane Saints or not, but yeah, you've gone through it. So what's it like from your end of the idea, I guess, overall?
All right, so the reason why vinyls cost more is because basically supply and demand, and the supply is not there. There is not that many pressing joints around, therefore it costs a lot to press. CDs cost $30. That's to press a vinyl is significantly more than that.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. All
right. Dickie's hiding behind the Iron Maiden flag.
Ordering another drink, or she's going to get some vinyl? No, I'm getting vinyl.
But I mean, like, we sold our vinyl for $60, and part of that is because we got the orange and black splattered vinyls and all that shit jazz. But we weren't making that much profit on it at that price even. So that's pretty much why they cost that much. And like I see, like, there's some special edition vinyls that cost $70, $80 or whatever for bigger bands or whatever. And that's probably pushing it a bit, but I mean, I suppose it depends on what people pay for. And if people are paying for it, then that's it. But I mean, as far as for a regular standard vinyl being around that $50 area, that's honestly, they're not making that much money off that.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Nikki frozen again. So Dave,
every time she looks at her computer,
every time she turns her head to the right, it might be like there's a vaccine thing in her head.
Surprise, Gigi.
So Dave,
this was my bin last taping, overpriced vinyl from JB Hi-Fi especially. And looking through their catalog, it's anywhere from $60 to $80 for classic albums. And considering you can get the same,
that's a rip-off.
She'll come back. Yeah, considering you can get the same thing on CD for a fraction of the price, I don't understand why it's so overpriced. I mean, I know it's trendy, and it's the thing of the moment where people, for some reason, hate CDs now and want to buy vinyl because it's cool, and they can charge whatever the fuck they want. And I can understand that it costs more to press the vinyl. Actually, I'm going to be really pedantic and say they're called records. Okay, they just happen to be made on vinyl. Old school, they were called records.
Yes.
Yeah. But 10 years ago when they were coming back, you can understand that there was a limited way to get them made. It's all the rage now, so I can imagine there's a few more places pressing them. So they really shouldn't be costing as much as they do. I think they're just cashing in on the newfound popularity of them. Personally, I don't think I'd spend more than $50 at the absolute most for a record. $40, and that's for a dog. I mean, I've been to record fairs where I found Aerosmith bootleg live, and that's a double. I paid $40 for that. You can find that in JB Hi-Fi for $80. There was no way in hell I would pay that. I mean, vinyl, I'll tend to just stick to the classic albums, and the albums I absolutely love because it's special. I mean, the rest of the things, I'll stick with the CDs. But I mentioned in the Hot Topic last time, people were bitching about the cost of CDs a little while ago because apparently it only costs $1 to make a CD. Forget about all the things that go into making the music that goes on there. But then people are shelling out $60, $70, $80 for an album that they probably owned 20 years ago and threw out to buy the fucking thing on Spotify or iTunes to play on their iPod. And they threw their iPod out and went and bought records because it's cool. How many times will people pay to buy the same album? I perfectly understand Nikki's point of view of supporting local bands. They'll do exactly the same thing. But I'm more inclined to buy a CD and a T-shirt than buy a record. I mean, I love vinyl, but I do tend to just very selective about my vinyl collection. Yeah. But yeah, no way I reckon a record is worth any more than $60.
I can't answer one of your questions. There is pretty much one place to print vinyl, unfortunately, in Australia.
That's all crazy.
Just the one place.
Sorry?
Yeah. There's one reliable place in Australia that we to print vinyl. All the local bands are getting it done from the exact same place.
As all the international. The thing,
as far as international bands go, if they're produced locally, they're produced at the same place.
Okay. I did hear a while ago, I don't know how much truth there is in it, but new pressings of classic albums are actually pressed off a CD. So it's not like they're taking an old mix.
Possibly. Because everything got remastered for CD, so they'd have to be being pressed from old original masters.
Yeah.
Or they'd have to be remastered for vinyl. So when we did the Orange album, part of the cost of the vinyl is remastering it for vinyl.
Needs a different mix.
So the master on the vinyl is a different mix to the master you're getting on the CD or Spotify.
Yeah,
definitely.
And I can hear that because on Spotify, buying a CD of Alice Cooper's newest album, the CD sounds significantly better than what you hear on Spotify. So everything is obviously mixed differently for whatever platform you're getting.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to love yous and leave yous.
Okay.
The dogs, I put them outside. They're just Nala's at the door full on yelling match at me. She keeps looking at me.
Yeah, she's making some very odd noises. I don't know if they were coming through at all, but fuck, it was funny from us at this end here. So we're losing our shit halfway through. Not disrespecting anyone's point of view, but when the dog is making some gnarly fucking noises out there, it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Get your fucking ass back here.
All we need is like the tin of pea soup, and then we're set for another version of The Exorcist. That's what's going on with that dog at the moment. So,
all right, love you all.
Bye, Jody.
See you, Jody.
Love you, Jody.
Yes,
you be good, girlfriend. Bye, guys.
Cool. Yeah, we're not quite done yet. So Nikki's going to be having something else to say in just a second before we do move on. I'll go to the comments in a second. I'll go to some of my thoughts on this. I think that the manufacturing costs are a big part of it. I think that, we need many more places to. What we got to remember is that the vinyl record producing industry virtually died. So to get the equipment and all that sort of stuff to ramp back up into production that's on the same scale as other mediums at the moment is pretty insane when it comes to the manufacturing.
Jody's right in the sense that the market, like even though vinyls are more popular, the market share is still relatively small.
Yeah.
So while we can support, one major vinyl press from Australia, there is a question as to whether we can support two, which is why there is really only one.
Yeah.
But for the diehards, vinyl never really disappeared. People were still collecting it throughout the 90s and the 2000s. There were specialist shops all over the place if you knew where to go.
Yeah, but like you said, there were specialists.
And they all
like you
sold
said,
new vinyl, but it wasn't marked up to this ridiculous price.
Yeah, but like you said, there were specialist shops, and that were,
You could get new pressings of classic albums. They were like $40, $50 at the most, not what JB Hi-Fi is currently charging. 60,
Yeah,
70,
JB Hi-Fi are overpricing a lot of their albums.
You don't need to go to JB to get the fucking latest remaster.
JB overpriced their CDs as well.
If you know where to look, you can buy the original pressings or subsequent pressings secondhand, and
and they're much cheaper and they're better quality.
Where I come in.
Yeah, I think that Joshua Batten's raised an interesting point too that's not being mentioned yet at this point, that there is a shortage of goods and services in relation to COVID around the world. So that's impacting things as well. But I think when it comes to supply and demand, this is basically like a market share industry, whatever you want to talk about, because if demand has gone up, which it has, because vinyl sales are increasing year over year and they're going up quite fast. I'm not sure if it's exponential yet, but it is big growth versus any of the other mediums. That means that will push it's like the housing market in some respects. It'll keep pushing the price up because the price to equal or to satisfy demand isn't as available as it needs to be, in which case companies like JB Hi-Fi and that will get away with pushing the prices up because guess what? The consumer is willing to pay it. And I think for me, that's the defining line. If the consumer is willing to pay it, then it can't be that overpriced. But still, doing what it needs to do, then at the end of the day, the market will work itself out eventually. The costs will come back down in due course. But I think that will happen when there's more competition as opposed to what we have at the current rate of things. I think that the people that are buying vinyl, most of those have some or a little bit of an audiophile aspect to themselves. They want to hear it a certain way. Otherwise, they will be content with their $25, $30 CD and their Spotify account and all those things. People that want to sit down with a vinyl are the ones that are dedicated to listen to it in a particular format and way. So I think for them, they're already willing to spend the money on the gear. They're going to want to make sure they spend the money to get the quality product they expect out of it all as well. Nikki's right. If you shop around, if you do all the research, you'll be able to get a price that's better than what JB Hi-Fi. You can get it more often than not from the bands, which is another point that Josh was batting here. Get it from the bands and all that sort of stuff directly. A lot of that, go to Bandcamp or whatever else have you as well for everyone out there. Even a lot of the major bands have links through Bandcamp now. So if you avoid the major retailers and go direct, you're saving yourself a bit of coin there too. So I think that will in turn bring the price down. If people do that and stop going to JB Hi-Fi, well then JB Hi-Fi will have to bring their prices down to get back into the competition for the market to move their units. But again, bottom line, like I said, the market will work itself out eventually. If people are willing to pay it, then I guess it is worth what it's worth. It's good luck telling people to put prices down when they're going to keep turning over what they are now.
So how ironic it is you bring this up on Record Store Day, Andrew?
I know. It's a bit of an interesting one on Record Store Day. It's just, we plan this out and we get some we get some stuff in that regard. We plan these ones out in advance. But that's what I think is the case of it all here. We've got a few different opinions in it. Let's go. We've got some good comments coming through actually too. A few people, Sally is one of them, asking, is it that much for vinyl overseas to adjust here in Australia? I think there is always a price difference between Australia and the rest of the world, but I think it's still pretty expensive everywhere else, isn't it? Does anyone know that?
No idea.
No?
I only go to the buy swap sell sites in Australia, and
I can have a look.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I think there's two streams here. I think there's supporting local music, which I've just said openly.
Yeah.
I'll pay up $50 for a local release. One, because I want it, and two, because I support the bands.
Yeah,
There's
that
cool new release like Hidden Intent and Eat the Damn Orange and those kind of bands.
Yep.
And then there's buying the gods like Led Zeppelin and fucking Motorhead and Guns N' Roses and all that shit. If you know where to look, you'll find it okay.
Yeah.
you will find it okay.
Being selective in your shopping is a habit for anything in general, I think. Nudes has jumped in and said, as long as the artist is getting the money, I'm not too fussed. A lot of times, having a family, I go the cheaper option. No way I'm getting a free download that doesn't benefit the band, though. So that's ultimately, the best thing there is, support the artist however you can, even if it's not vinyl. That's always a good point here. Wayne's going to believe it just costs more so as physical product as a digital one. CD is cheaper to make because some bands can make their own. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Again, what else we got here? Joshua Batten was asking what that local place was. So I forget which one of us was talking about that before, but does anyone know the name of that local record store? I think we should probably do a thread on that at one point, but yeah. Oh, the local manufacturing.
It was Final Solution. And was it manufacturing or selling?
Yeah, it was manufacturing. Sorry, yeah. So, Tim, that'd be you.
Talk to Brendan. He's one.
Talk to Brendan. Right, we'll get Brendan to answer that question.
Record stores, though. Josh, if you're looking for amazing record stores, hit me up. Private message me. I could send you fucking 5 that are incredible.
Right. Nice. Here's an interesting point being raised by Brett Gundry. Thanks for jumping in. I think the newer records don't sound as good as the old ones. I get
agree.
the price higher here, but these days overseas.
Yeah, because a lot of them are done on the cheap and are done, as Dave said before, with a CD master.
Yeah.
As opposed to being remastered back for vinyl.
Yeah.
So they'll sound quite thin.
Yeah. I definitely
I am looking here at the brand new vinyl from Cannibal Corpse.
Mm-hmm.
And in the US, it's going at $40 US.
Oh wow!
Yeah, right.
So roughly the same price.
Because 40 US is probably like what, 54 Australian? Am I in the hood?
60 to 70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'll pay that for a new release. I would happily pay that.
But we're all music heads too, so I guess for us it's a bit of an echo chamber kind of discussion in a way. But I don't know. It's one of those things where the market will, I think, buy itself in due course over time. Here we go. Wayne's jumped in to say, I would buy a local album more if it came with the digital format. Also, I think that's a thing that is being more and more done overall. I think you guys did it with Internet Orange. You gave the vinyl away with a bunch of other stuff as well, didn't you, Tim?
Yeah, if you bought the vinyl, you got the CD, you got some guitar picks, some necklace with it. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, I got ripped off, Tim, because I just bought the fucking vinyl.
You didn't get a guitar pick necklace?
No, I fucking didn't. I have so
Again, talk to Brendan. That's not my deal.
Say, Tim, I've got so many Ablaze guitar pick necklaces. I don't have any from Eat the Damn Orange. Irrelevant.
Again, talk to Rick and Brendan. They've got like 400 picks.
I'm really good right now because I actually played the vinyl. But take it all away. Most of the bands, the ones I love, like Cicada Stone, is when they do the vinyl, because I love the vinyl. I want the vinyl. I play the vinyl and I love it. But I love the digital release as well. So any band that does 1, 2, how about you, that does the record, the vinyl, and the download is my winner because I can play the download in my car. And that's where it means to me. So anyone who's doing that, fucking smart.
Yeah, agree with that too. Darren jumped in to say, I'm so old, I have some releases of multiple mediums as technology has developed, so vinyl, cassette, CD, but as far as I'm concerned, CDs are my go-to medium. There are still some people in that boat, so you're definitely not alone in that. Our friend Tough on YouTube jumped in to say, JB Hi-Fi have a shit metal section. Well, yeah.
It depends on the JB Hi-Fi.
Okay. Yeah.
It depends on the JB Hi-Fi. For example, Cranbourne has a banging metal section. Meanwhile, Danny Nong, shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Danny Nong's got a shit metal section, but he's got a huge hip-hop section.
Yeah, that's not surprising when you take into account demographics.
Whereas, if you go to Frankston, metal, not so much, huge punk section.
Yeah, okay. That's cool.
It does depend on the JB Hi-Fi.
That's actually pretty smart on their behalf too, to market it where it's going to.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that. Tim jumped in to say vinyl is definitely expensive everywhere, which is pretty much backing up what Tim was saying before. Tough also said, I buy my stuff online direct. I don't want money to go to the metal. He wants his money to go to the metal. So, yes, go direct to the band as much as you can.
Tough. What you said, Tough, I passionately believe. And not only that, but like, wait,
Show and tell.
fine. If you go to the band's direct, you probably can't see this. This is from the Babes in Adelaide. Signed. Like, that means something to me. Hidden intent. Signed.
Yeah.
Fucking, I don't know.
And those things don't cost anything for the band to go that extra step either. I think they're good little value adders to add the digital thing and add the signatures, that sort of stuff is pretty cool. Our good friend Dave on Twitter has jumped in to say, I bought the Iron Maiden Book of Souls at my local independent record shop, $10 cheaper than JB Hi-Fi. So there you go.
Yeah.
And that's talking about the vinyl copy there. Michael jumped in. I support local bands to make vinyls. Even paid over $50 for one vinyl. It was one of 10 in the world. It's Acolyte latest album. Yes, that was very, very well done. That was a very cool process they went through for that.
Can I just call Michael Gow out because he bought the rare pressing of the Acolyte one. I know the one he's talking about, and he put his hard-earned cash on it. He supports the scene. He takes photos, blah, blah, blah. But he supports the scene where it counts with his dollars. And I know he got that fucking rare vinyl Acolyte, and I'm so fucking dead and jealous over it. And I can't get it now. It's gone. So, Michael, I'm actually dead, and I can't get the one you got because it's gone. I'm dead.
That's cool. That's awesome. I like hearing stories like that too. Darren jumped in to say, put up a video recently about the vinyl release of Slave to the Grind that had no involvement of the Skid Row members. He compared the original 91 version and the new version. 91 version was far superior. That's not a huge surprise because the record labels own the rights, which is a bit of a shit show in itself, but there we go. Ben Jones. Yeah, go on.
No.
Ben Jones. Yes, it just pre-ordered the vinyl for Stone Trip that we discovered from us, so that's awesome. That means we're doing our job. That's cool. It's tough. When I was on the Dole, my first time went to a Manowar flag that I bought from Metal for Melbourne shop. Wow, Metal for Melbourne. That's going cool. That's nice. Okay. Tom Hart, the new Mammoth album is rocking. Cheers, guys. Tom is from Trucker Diablo. Thank you for jumping in and joining us. Nikki's got something to say about that in just a minute as well. And people are saying generally they don't buy anything from JB Hi-Fi, so I think the people are saying avoid JB Hi-Fi, go direct to the band or other people as well. Do your research and don't be lazy about it. But also, Sally's gone CD as a preference. None of what in JB is not the best metal at all. It does matter which one you go to for sure. So there's a few people saying on that side of things too, Tim. So well done on that one. And Michael is saying thanks, Nikki, for the words you said before as well there too. Tim, you wanted to say something before we move on?
No, I was going to say, like, if you remember back when we were doing Led Zeppelin albums, we'd hear stories of, like, you know, how Jimmy Page would personally sit in on the remaster when they were going from vinyl to CD. And that makes a huge difference.
Yep.
But now that process is being reversed. And, again, because there's a lot of people trying to cash in on the fad, a lot of people would have just gotten rid of the original tapes because, again, those tapes are huge and they take up a lot of space. And nobody could have predicted that vinyl is making a comeback.
Mm-hmm.
So again, they would have just, rather than remaster it or do a good they would have just, released it. And again, it would not have sounded as good.
Yeah, the amount of times, because we covered in the interview that Nikki did with me recently that when I was studying engineering, the audio engineering, I should say, not an engineer, but the stories that came about classic tapes being taped over because it was such an expensive medium, you had to use it until it fell apart, literally fell apart. Tape was just that valuable that keeping those on file, for lack of a better term, like we all do with our hard drives today, it's just not done. So how much has been lost is...
I remember hearing there's literally Jimmy Chamberlain, who's the drummer for the Smashing Pumpkins. But when they did, Melancholy and Infinite Sadness, it was like they had one roll of tape of 16 tracks for one guitar, one roll of tape of 16 tracks for guitar 2, one roll of tape, 16 tracks for drums, one roll of tape, 16 tracks for bass, and the same for vocals. Yep. And it's like you put that in. And then you've got to compress that all down into one CD. Yep. And then once that CD's out, that tape is becoming something else.
Yeah, exactly. It has to.
Pro Tools changed a lot.
It did. It changed everything. In some ways good, some ways bad. But when the digital revolution hit audio engineering, tape was getting, and that's assuming that they're willing to pay for the process of importing the tape takes onto a digital format too. And that didn't get done a lot either. So the original tracking, a lot of the old classics is well and truly lost, and so we're left with what we've got. And that might not that'll again bear out in time, where that's where your first editions of books and vinyls and that will always have value. This will always.
Again, you can remaster it.
You can, yeah, remaster.
But a lot of time it's not getting done.
Yeah, exactly. And I wish it would, but it's a cost-cutting thing too from labels and that don't want to spend any more time on or money on things when they can just pump it out and make a quick buck. So a lot of this comes down to the machinery versus the bands kind of thing. So the labels and all that sort of stuff trying to make as much money as they can, as fast as they can. That's a different conversation. But yeah, generally speaking, everyone's in agreement. Wayne's jumped in to say JB can be shit cunts with vinyl prices compared to local vinyl shops like Dutch Vinyl, etc. We've got some... Great Sky, which I believe is our good friend Jeff of the Canadian Rush Lad. Hope all is well, everyone. We haven't seen you for a while, so good to see you once again with us. Hope you've been keeping well, mate. Thank you for jumping in tonight. It's awesome to see you here with us. And Gear from our Viking Queen band. They've gone. You can order vinyl and see us in the Viking Queen. So check out the Facebook page. There's a free plug for a band there too. So check that out too. Their album's not bad. All right. So Nikki. You wanted it. We're going to review in a moment 3 releases, but our main event for tonight is that's cool, awesome. Jeff saying great, absolutely. So that's cool, awesome, good to see. But we're going to be reviewing the Mammoth WVH album as our main event for tonight in just a little bit. But Nikki, you wanted to say something about that before we say goodbye to you as well.
Look, I'm going to go away. I'm not going to review the album. I just want to drop something. Imagine being Eddie Van Halen's son. Van Halen are the band I walked down the aisle to when I got married. They are the band I have my funeral song to. My poor cherubs are so scarred, they know when I die, there's a Van Halen song I need played at my funeral. Yep. So I cannot emphasize more how much Van Halen mean to me. I have listened to this album and it's fucking phenomenal. Make your own decisions, make your own assessments. But can you fucking imagine being Eddie Van Halen's son? If you are a Van Halen fan, go through the footage, go through the interviews, dig deep and look into the YouTube wormhole. Eddie Van Halen speaks with nothing but love and pride and respect for Wolfgang. And I've seen it time and time again. And seeing Eddie talk about his son actually fucking makes him cry. It makes me fucking cry because the love Eddie had for Wolfgang is insane. But you know what? Put that in the bin. Forget it. Whatever. Judge him on his merit. Judge him on his musicality. Judge him on his guitarship and musicianship. He is insane and he delivers. And I really, truly hope that anyone who listens to this album doesn't listen to Eddie's son. Just remove yourself from it. Listen to the tune for what it is. The fucking first song's called Mr. Ed. My God, mic drop. Fuck, in my heart. No, but I really needed to get this out because Wolfgang is Eddie's son and Eddie is everything to me. If anyone knows me at all, I'm a fucking guitar girl. I'm not a vocalist. I'm not a drummer. I'm not a bass player. I'm a guitar girl. Guitar is my jam. Van Halen is my fucking jam. They are my ultimate all-time band. And I really, really think Wolfgang has done them proud. I think he's held his head high. He owns his own. I just want you to listen to it and appreciate it and not judge him on who his son and father is. It doesn't matter. That's all.
All right.
That's all I have to say.
I think you'll find our reviews interesting in that regard later on. I know that I've got something to say on that coming up later on too. I don't think I'll be the only one. So We'll see how that goes. But yeah, definitely got a very, very good point there, Nicky. We're getting some nice comments going through here as well. So just going back onto the vinyl thing, Wayne jumped in and said, when I was young and buying records as they came out, it was like $7.99, $8.99, but it was also reflecting our cash ratio at the time. So yeah, inflation is a thing in that regard as well. And Brett jumped in to say, I can remember going to Metal from Melbourne, buying the records when the when the CDs came out, the guys were worried no one would buy them. Vinyl was always my preferred thing. CDs cost a lot back then too. So yeah, there's always been a vinyl market. Nikki, Sally was agreeing with you. She was saying, me too, when it comes to Van Halen and the talking about Eddie to the loving of Wolfgang. Brett jumped in. If I got $1 for every time Nikki said, fuck ends, and I could buy a Ferrari. You and me both, pal. There we go. And our good friend Dave on Twitter jumped in saying, sadly, Wolfgang copped a lot of crap on Twitter when he was recording this album just for being Eddie's son. He did. That was pretty brutal, actually, watching that play out. And On Your Own Island was a comment from Darren Humphries. I think Wolfgang definitely does. And Jeff jumped in to say this album is a love story from son to father. And I think that's definitely true. And I'm glad that Eddie got to hear it. Glad that Eddie got to hear it before he went. There we go. All right. So we'll move on from there. Thank you very much for jumping in tonight, Nikki, doing the gig guide, doing the hot topic, and giving us your thoughts on the latest from Wolfgang Van Halen as well.
Thank you for listening. I hope it wasn't boring.
Nah, that's all good, Nikki. It's always fun having you around. Okay, awkward silence. Cool. We'll see you again soon. That went well. Thank you, Nikki. We'll see you soon. Yeah. Okay, bye-bye. She's already gone. All right, cool. She's off to go and finish off.
Love your work.
She's going to jump into the comments, I'm sure, as we go along. She's probably going to be sitting there watching the stream later on as we get to the review. A quick plug again for gear. Everyone must check out the Spotify Viking with Hammer of the Gods, old classic rock. Yes, go and check out the album. And Sally's jumped in to say, love Miss Nikki. Yes, we all have a great lot of love for Nikki 666 here at the show. We love having her involved in all this process. Now we've got a few reviews to get through, though. We'll get through these ones, and then we'll get out of everyone's way tonight. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. And if you are watching live with us, again, thank you. If you're watching on repeat later on, awesome. Good to have you with us. And if you're listening on audio later on too, then thank you for jumping in. Check out the links in the description for everything we're talking about tonight. But right now I'm going to put a link in the comments for a clip from a local band. We're going to start off there first. This is Narayan, and their song is called Fight Friend Flee is the video I'm putting up in the comments. It's also in the description of this episode. So if you are watching later on or listening later on, you can still find it there. But yeah, the song is Narayan, or the artist is Narayan. It's Narayan, and the song title is Fight Friend Flee. And the review we're going to kick off these little things off with is Narayan with The Reptile Mind. 3 tracks for 12 minutes, the debut EP from the Fijian-born but now Melbourne-based artist. Released June 2021 independently. Recorded at Rangemaster in Melbourne, produced by Forrester Savell and David Carr. 2 of the songs already have videos in Fight Friend Flee and also Disconnection, which played on the show last night on TV. This is an instrumental EP with Adrian Narayan performing alongside drummer Dean Kennedy, who we know from Damnation's Day on this one. Let's go to you first, Dave, on this one, because you're the tech prog head. So over to you. What do you make of it?
Oh, this is fucking great. It's got my attention right from the first listen. It's very infectious. You'll be nodding your head along to it straight away. You can just fuck straight into it. It's like, this is fucking great. High energy instrumental rock metal with a bit of a space feel to it. I thought that was a nice touch. I've heard lots of instrumental music in my day, but to get like a feel or like a place out of the music as an overall theme, it's very, very cool to do it that way. Great use of composition and the note choices to help create that mood and atmosphere. I thought that was really well done. I'm sure the musician behind this, if he wanted to venture into composing film scores, he could actually do a good job with that. Dude's got some serious talent. Mm-hmm. Reminded me of a cross between Satriani and Dream Theater. Something in the heavy guitar tone was very Dream Theater-ish, and the style of riffing, like not so much early Dream Theater, but kind of mid to now. But being a big Dream Theater fan, this got me right where it needs to be. Nice shifts in mood, great heavy guitar tone, cool flanger effect on the song Disconnection as it starts. Fuck yeah, the extra little thing that you need. But the whole thing is just easy to listen to over and over again. It's like 12 minutes of holy shit, this is fucking great. It's definitely left me wanting more. I'll be keeping an eye on this because, fuck, it was cool. I gave it 8 out of 10. My fan was Head Games. That first song just grabs you by the balls and pulls you in.
That's nice. Cool. All righty. Tim, how'd you go?
Yeah, what Dave said, really.
Yeah.
Really, really well done. A few things that really stood out to me was how the important thing with instrumental albums is that they find a way to tell a story without, obviously without words.
Yeah.
And they've got to like, the last thing I want to hear in an instrumental album is a verse chorus kind of song structure, because then I kind of just my brain just goes, you could have just stuck vocals there.
Yeah.
They managed to avoid that, but at the same time, they also managed to do some nice little callbacks and motifs that just tied everything together really nicely. And I thought everything was really well done. The layout was fantastic. And the other thing they managed to do, Tone, was on the guitar tone. It gave this sort of really modern feel without it being also kind of a throwback as well. They managed to toe that line very, very nicely. Yeah. Solid grooves throughout, great riffs throughout, catchy stuff all around. The great little 3-track EP on this, 8 out of 10, and Disconnection was my highlight.
Well, yeah, make it 3 from 3. I loved it. It's hard to give hugely high scores to EPs, especially when they're only 3 tracks. So, take the score in mind, or with that in mind kind of thing. But this is technical, progressive, but it's fucking easy to listen to. What was surprising about this is that it's instrumental, but it's so easy to take in. Great composition. It's got that storytelling and drama that you want. What Tim said before about the composition being not falling into verse chorus. They made this so it was still catchy enough to stay with you, but also, didn't fall into the trap of just writing a generic song, which was very well done. I think the performances are faultless. There's only 2 of them here. There's nowhere to hide, but it's fucking been well done. But I also liked how there were some really different flavors in this. There's a lot going on in 3 tracks, but there was like Southeast Asian flavors, modern synth tones dotted throughout this thing. There's a lot going on in these 3 tracks. This 12-minute, listen is quite the journey overall. I love how it's ballsy, it's progressive, but there's so much more that just drags you into it. It's got a very infectious quality to it, and the mix is fantastic. Great tones, especially in the guitar. But the overall thing has been blended to perfection, and when you look at who mixed it, that's not really a surprise, but there's some really nice subtle...
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Forrest is the man.
Yeah, that's it. For this style of music, it's the right guy. But I like the subtle panning and this really subtle stuff too. But that use of depth and space and that too, which gave you that, what Dave said before, the space kind of element to what was going on here, that was actually a good way to describe it. That's pretty much summed it up. And what Dave also said about the moving into score work, it's funny you mentioned that, because the composition in Fight, Friend, Flee gives me the same vibe as what Battlestar Galactica or Bear McCreary did with the song All Along the Watchtower for their version of that. And I fucking love that version. I love the way they did this song here too. Very, very cool. The emotive solo and Disconnection was great as well. That was really, it had that flair, but it was a really good feel. And this is really engaging and entertaining for a little 3-track EP. There's no need for vocals. Everything here is fucking fantastic. I get the impression reading up on this, it's been a labor of love for quite some time. And I hope that this isn't just a one and done thing. I hope this is sort of the spark that, kicks off into bigger and better things. So I'd like to hear much, much more out of this project in the years to come. 8.5 out of 10. Disconnection and Fight, Friend, Flee were my standouts on this one. But yeah, Dave picked the opening track, Head Games. That's also a fucking fantastic song. There's not a bad moment on this little EP at all. Okay, cool. Tough's gone. Good tune. Listening to while playing Hitman on the PC. That's a good one. Reminds him of the Grand Prix level. Okay, cool. I don't know anything about the game, so there we go. I'm not the gaming person.
I haven't played Hitman in a long time.
I've never played the game at all. So there you go. I'm definitely not the gamer amongst us. All right, moving on. We're going to go to a bit of a fun one next. This is Green Jelly or Green Jello. There are no new clips for this one, so in the description, if you're tuning in later on, or in the comments now, if you're watching live with us tonight, there is a clip there for the classic Three Little Pigs, which you should know that song if you're tuning in to watch us talk a bunch of shit tonight. So, Here it is. We're going to move on. This is Green Jelly with Garbage Band Kids. And Dave, it's interesting that you and I were talking about this last time because it did reference the artwork that you were talking about there too.
Well, it would, yeah.
The Garbage Pail Kids, whatever it is, yeah. This is 17 tracks for 56 minutes, the 5th studio album and the first in 12 years from this American band. Released June 2021 by Cleopatra Records. One single has so far been released in Punk Rock Pope, but this also has a re-recording of their most well-known song in Three Little Pigs. It's a bit different. It was recorded and produced, I think, with the help of fans. There's about 100 people involved in this in some way, shape, or form, pitching in from all over the world. The artwork was done by the same person that did the Garbage Pail Kids thing, and the album cover itself references all the songs in some way, shape, or form. If that's not enough for you to take in on just the intro of this album, there are guest spots from Weird Al Yankovic, Suicidal Tendencies, Pile Driver, Kitty, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and many, many more on top of that. So, Tim, this had some wrestling references. Let's go to you first on this one.
Outstanding. This is like the opening track is called Puke Box. And like from the first chorus, it is stuck in your head.
Yep.
Yeah. And like it is garbage punk rock.
Yeah.
For the most part. It's and it, like if like musically it kind of and humor wise it kind of reminds me a little bit of Gwar or
they
even
play
like
together.
a little bit of Barbarian kind of stuff, but it's just catchy, fun. There's some fight riffs in here too, which I like.
Yep.
And it's fantastic. The rhyming in the drinking song, like to the point where it just got so cheesy, it was hilarious.
Yep.
And like it's just fantastic all the way from start to finish. This is a very fun listen, and I loved it. In fact, I gave it a 9.
Wow, cool. Wow.
In fact, this is one of those songs where I found as soon as I heard it, I sent a link to Silence of the SquarePants to my friends. I'm like, check this out.
Yes.
This is fucking great.
Yes. Good song.
Excellent song. Excellent song. Silence of the SquarePants would be my highlight, actually.
Yep.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
Awesome. Cool. We're off to a good start, Dave.
Put Back Alley Dentist as a second highlight, too.
Okay, cool. Nice one.
Yeah.
Dave, you're going to continue on the run?
I am, but just quickly, is Hacksaw Jim Duggan still alive?
Yeah, he's in this.
Yeah, that just threw me because I thought he died years ago. I'm like, how the fuck is he in this? Wow.
Yep.
Okay, I just learned something. Yeah.
There you go.
Green Jelly never took themselves too seriously. They had 2 really good albums back in the 90s, but turns out they had an album before that was a live album or something. But yeah, what we thought was the first album was actually the second, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, Serial Killer and Free 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 were fantastic. I used to play the hell out of them back in my teenage years. Yeah, Weird Al Yankovic makes an appearance on this, and I saw his name on the track, and I'm just like, where is he? I can't hear him. Then he appears at the end. I'm not going to blow the joke for anyone who hasn't heard it, but it's fantastic. Brilliantly done. And as Tim mentioned, SpongeBob SquarePants song, I don't remember what they call it, but they basically did a punk rock version of the theme song. It's fantastic.
Silence of the SquarePants.
Silence of the SquarePants, that's the one. It's like Silence of the Lambs meets SpongeBob SquarePants. You can't get better.
And solid green Krabby Patties.
Like they got a song on a previous album called Nightmare on Sesame Street. You can't get better. There was a song called The Boy Who Cried Wolf. And at the very end, there is a complaint from the wolf who's offended by the remarks in the song and how he's going to cancel them. Fucking fantastic. Reminds me of the early Monty Python series where they had the complaint letters during it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we need more of that shit happening.
Yep.
There is a few different styles of music on here like they've always done. And I noticed that the production tends to change a little bit depending on the song. Everything from dirty punk rock to kind of cheerful drinking songs. And if you, as you mentioned in the start, they've got like 100 people involved all around the world. That could probably explain why it varies a little bit.
Yeah.
But the whole album flows pretty well. Not sure why they re-recorded Three Little Pigs. I mean, it was an interesting little variation on the Not by the Hair of My Chinny Chin, but I'll just stick with the original for that. I don't think it was needed. But overall, cool listen. I gave it 7.5 out of 10. Puke Box, Silence of the SquarePants, Boy Who Cried Wolf, and the Ballad of Green Jelly, which is a beautiful song.
It is. For me, the first time I listened to this, I was getting ready for work in the morning, and I was doing some stuff in the kitchen, and Zach, our boy, he was there waiting to go to work with me, and I'm listening to it through my earpods while I'm doing something to the dishwasher or whatever I was doing, and then I'm just losing my shit in the kitchen to the first fucking song. I'm bent over in hysterics. I thought it was fucking fantastic. Then the SpongeBob SquarePants song comes on, and I'm fucking losing it even more. And it's just like, this is fantastic. I was laughing from the start and have not stopped laughing since while listening to this one. It's very hard to pull this kind of stuff off because the novelty does wear off, but this one holds up pretty well, does a lot better job than you might think in terms of the humour staying with you. Weird Al Yankovic's performance at the end of the opening track is fantastic. Also, I know that you mentioned the Three Little Pigs, and I've got a comment that I noticed before talking about, the re-recording of the Not by the Hair of My Chinny Chin Chin vocals being much lower this time around than the high-pitched one. I get that might be a complaint, but there's a gem at the end of it where the whole moral of the song 30 years later, it's still... Not going to spoil it, but that little tail end of the song is fucking fantastic. Just plays with your expectations brilliantly well. The opening track is so inspired by Randy Savage. It's not funny. The whole calling out and going to the, into the squared circle kind of thing was just such a throwback to the heyday. It was so cool. And the lyrics across the board on this are fantastic. It's built around riffs. There are some nice solos, but the humor in this is undeniable. But you got a really good cross-section of different styles in here too, not only in the production, but the production shifts to suit what the songs need. But this has a cross of metal and punk energy. If your sense of humor isn't right, you're not going to get this one. But if you like their big hit, Three Little Pigs, this will appeal to you well enough to listen to. It's got a cross of metal and punk energy. You've got an almost industrial track, though, in punk rock pop. That's almost industrial. But then Hey, Hey, Hey almost fits into the Rob Zombie territory as well. So there's a bit more to this. And there's the ballad you mentioned as well, which is right in the middle of the album. That's a really nice slower touch that's done really well in the context of how this whole thing goes together too. Like, it's all a bit rough around the edges, but it's got a good classic feel and vibe to it. Like I said, the novelty doesn't wear off. It's not every song here is fantastic, but they're all solid, and there's something that's going to appeal to everyone pretty much. I think for me, the lower points were Weirdo and Champion. They didn't quite cut through, but they were good songs, and they were, for my low points, they were still good songs. There was nothing bad about them. They just didn't quite grab me. But the bar was set high by the 1-2 punch at the start of the album. So, take that for what it's worth when you're listening to it as you go through this thing too. Hacksaw Jim Duggan does that little spot in Free Toe Feet. That was really, really a nice little touch. Just tucked away in there like a little voicemail kind of a thing. That was really nice. Look, all in all, for as many people as there are involved in this, there's 100+ people from all over the world, fans and producers and instrumentalists and all sorts of shit all over the world involved in this. They took a few years to put this one together, and I think it's well worth it. This is well worth your time. Check it out. There's a lot to take in. There's a lot to enjoy. It's a lot of fun, and this will make you at least smile, if not outright lose your shit, because there are some fucking clever stuff on this. I loved it. 8.5 out of 10 from me. Pukebox, Silence of the SquarePants, Punk Rock Pope, and Ballad of Green Jelly were my standouts on this one. So this is one that's a sneaky good one. You probably don't expect it for a novelty band. They've done a really good fucking well. They've managed to hold it together pretty well over the years for a novelty-based kind of thing, which is pretty cool. Tough jumped in to say, hey, it's my jam. Love these guys. Yes, they're very cool. Nudes jumped in saying, fun album, but didn't like the chinny chin chin voice. That's where, you agrees with you there, Dave. Didn't quite grab him as much. This is one probably for you, Dave. Jeff jumped in and said, do you remember those gross stickers from the mid-'80s in the van of Garbage Pail Kids? They were scratching if most of them were revolting, which is why they sold so well. That's the same guy that did this one. So, yeah.
Yeah. I've still got some. I got a folder with all my music stuff from when I was a teenager, and I got them all over. It's in the bungalow somewhere. I meant to dig it out, but I will try and get it for next taping. So I'll show it off then.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I still got a whole bunch. There was 2 series, and each one had the disgusting word, one at the front and one was at the back.
Okay.
So, yeah, it had the same picture, but they had 2 different names for it. But yeah.
Yeah. I just remember we were talking
pre-adolescent.
Teased this one last time around. You were saying you were questioning about because Garbage Pan versus Garbage Pail and stuff, and it turns out they're completely. So cool pickup by you there. Tough's gone. Mate of his had a shitload of those on his bed. Yeah, Tim's jumped in for a novelty type of band. These guys are far more entertaining than a band like Steel Panther. Okay, cool. There we go. And Tosh jumped in to say, after watching this, I got Weird Al recommendations. I wonder why. Well, that's the YouTube algorithm work. There we go. Yeah, he's very, very cool. But he made a very good little cameo on this one. All right, moving on to our main event of the evening. We're putting in the comments now if you're tuning in live, but otherwise check it out in the description if you're watching later on. We're putting in a link for Don't Back Down, which is a live version from Mammoth WVH, which, if in case you don't know, is the son of Eddie Van Halen Wolfgang. His little solo project now. This is going to be our main event of the evening, so check out that link and give us your thoughts as we go along. This is Mammoth WVH with their self-titled album, 14 tracks for 58 minutes, the debut album from the son of Eddie Van Halen, released June 2021 via EX1 Records. Self-produced by Wolf at 5150 Studios. 6 singles have been released, including Distance and Don't Back Down. This is the definition of a solo project, as Wolf performed absolutely everything on this while self-producing the album as well. Let's go to you first, Dave, on this one.
Okay. The first two singles. I'm getting a flashback.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear myself come back. It's weird. Okay, it's all cool. The first 2 singles that were released were great. I've been looking forward to this album for most of the year. And I think I might have put a little bit of unfair expectations upon this myself. Because first listen, it's just like I was hoping for the greatest thing of all time for some reason. Okay. And the first listen was a little bit underwhelming. But that's more about me than what this actually is, because for some reason I wanted this to be fucking incredible. And it is that, but it took a bit of repeat listens to fully get what this is all about. And it's just one that you can easily listen to over and over, and each time it will grow on you and you will appreciate it a bit more of every spin. The lyrics will grab you where you'll be like, okay, I'm going to Google the lyrics to this song because there's something going on here. So it was a bit of a grower for me, but yeah, I definitely found myself enjoying this with each repeat listen, and it's been on repeat listen for most of the last 2 or 3 days. The important thing is he does not sound like his dad. He's his very own man in his playing and his songwriting. And if I'd heard this album and didn't know it was Van Halen's son, I wouldn't have made the connection at all.
Yeah.
The lyrics throughout this are really well done. You can tell it's got a lot of inspiration and behind these stories, and a lot of them are really personal, but they're also delivered in a way where the listener can bring their own experiences to them. And for me, that's really good songwriting. It's not like a clear cut, this is what I'm saying. It's just like, this is what I'm feeling, and the listener can identify with that. And fuck, it was really well done. Guitar tone is great. It's got heavy and ballsy, and it changes from each song as required. Sometimes there's lots of distortion, sometimes you'll dial back on it. Just depends on what each song needs. Clean tones are really nice as well. And the fucking drums have some really nice punch to them all through this. As you mentioned, he's playing everything on this. He just fucking nails it all. Acoustic guitars sound really nice, and everything serves the song. He's not there to like stroke his ego, but being the way he was raised, being in songwriting, being in the music industry with Van Halen as his dad, he'd know everything that's needed to get the best out of each song. It sounds more towards the modern sound of rock rather than leaning towards the classics. So yeah, he's definitely not relying on what he's known, what he knows everyone likes with his dad and everything. So he's just being his own man, writing his own songs, and he's done a fucking phenomenal job. As I mentioned a few times, it's easy to listen to over and over, and you will definitely enjoy it more and more of each spin. It's something I can't really compare it to anything that I've heard. So I wouldn't say like this band is like that band, there's influences from here. Considering he grew up and he was a part of Van Halen for so long, it hasn't influenced him in his own personal style. I guess it's 9 out of 10. Standouts were Mr. Ed, Don't Back Down, Resolve, Mammoth, You're to Blame, and Distance.
Nice. All right, cool. How'd you go, Tim?
Yeah, I thought this was great. This is like what's amazing to me about an album like this is just how this is such classic, just earworm from start to finish. Just great songwriting, great lyrics. It's just basics. Notes that work well together with great melodies, nice grooves. well recorded, great tones, delivered fantastically well by a very good musician. And this is if that sounds like something you'll enjoy this album. It's a very solid, very modern, clean and crisp sounding rock and roll album for mine, and I think it's fantastic. I think it's weird because in a way, because being Eddie Van Halen's son, obviously a lot of people are going to hear this that wouldn't hear it otherwise. Yeah. But at the same time, I kind of feel like had the same people heard this without it having his name attached to it, I feel like it could probably reach a younger demographic and and probably have some appeal to it, because there is a lot of. He does show his age a little bit in the sense there is a lot of like indie rock and garage revival kind of influences in there as well. And along with some classic rock and along with some really sort of modern hard rock sounds as well. Yep. And all tied together with this, this sort of pop sensibilities and focus on melody and hooks and stuff. And from that perspective, I think everything is really well put together. I think it's a fantastic listen from start to finish. I think he's done a really great job on this, and I'm sure American rock radio is all over it. Should be. I would hope Australian rock radio would be, but I don't think they are. So
definitely should be, but they won't be.
But this is there is no reason why none of this shouldn't be played all over the radio. Everywhere, because it's great stuff all around. Yeah, Resolve was my highlight. I thought Epiphany was also a great track as well. 9 out of 10.
Nice. There was a lot of hype in the lead up to this one, and for me, I didn't go in there like Dave did with sort of wanting it to blow. I just wanted to hear it. That's all I wanted to do was hear it. And after the lead single Distance, I was like, okay, whatever. As long as I got that song on an album, I'm pretty happy. Because that song is really heartfelt and touching, and it still tugs the heartstrings listening to that song, even without the video, which shows you how good and powerful it is. This album grabbed me from the start. It didn't take much, and the more I, like Dave though, the more I listened to it, the more I enjoyed it, but it grabbed me right from the start. Didn't have any problem getting into this at all. It's a diverse collection of songs which showcases Wolf doing his own thing, his own way, but it all flows together really nicely. It's just melodic hard rock at the end of the day, but it flirts with some metal in there, and there are some really nice soft touches too. So it shows you that he could go pretty much anywhere he wants to go in the future as well. He's left enough open doors, but he could, but everything he did, he executed fucking brilliantly. That he's done it all himself shows how talented he is, just in the production, the playing, the writing, the whole lot. Like, I thought it was fantastic. There's catchy hooks on this, great energy. This is a fun listen with plenty of heart and emotion in it too. Like I said, the album all the songs flow together really nicely. The overall presentation of the tracks with the peaks, troughs, and all that sort of stuff that I always go on about makes this really interesting to take in. Each spin gave me different ones as standouts as well. And he's not afraid to add some mid-song changes on things too, which only further accent the way this thing flows as well. So the whole thing from start to finish is really well executed in that regard. Love the lyrics, love the storytelling on this. The songs on this one, like I was saying before with Distance, it all still hits as hard as it did in the first time you heard it. And I thought there was some really nice groove and feel, some very nice solos on this as well. I liked how there were some little nods in the harmonic use to what Eddie would have done. Didn't lead to that at all. It didn't become a crutch in any way, shape, or form. It was just like, yeah, I know here's a little nod too, but this whole thing is Wolf being his own man on this record. Nothing complicated. It doesn't need to be. It just gets pushed or pulled in the right way. It's different songs. It's just, subtle little shifts in things like, what gets pushed or pulled or some panning and that, but nothing really big there too. But I did like the bottom end tone on this one. I thought the kick drum really did drive this one. And the tones and the bass and the guitar really gave this a mediation because Wolf's voice is a bit higher up, not hugely there, but that balance between the top end of the vocal and the bottom end, there's room for everything in between to shine. And there's just enough sparkle in the top end too, but that grit is really nice in here too. I thought, like I said, there were some fantastic solos and they also cut through because of the way the mix was done too. Nice harmonizing vocals. I think Wolf is a great singer in his own right. The clip I put in there, which is a live one, I checked it out before we put it into the comments tonight, and it's a fucking great one too that shows you not only can you do it in the studio, now that fucking live as well. And yeah, I don't know. I love this one. The last two tracks on this album, in Stone and Distance, really do show you the diversity on display in this album. That last sort of 1-2 punch is fantastic. Look, I think this is well worth your time. If you like rock music at all with just good melody and you want it to be, it's got enough meat on the bone, but there's enough soul and substance and heart in this as well to give you, it's just really well done. And this is a debut. Like, he took some time on this one. He recorded it apparently a couple of years ago. I'm glad his dad got to hear it before he passed away, because this is just a phenomenal album, and all the credit and praise that's being thrown at Wolfgang these days is well deserved. This is a fantastic, fantastic listen. Probably going to be one of those sneaky ones that will just keep getting better and better as the year goes on, because a lot of this.
Oh yeah, it'll make honorable mentions for sure, at least.
It's up there. It's pretty fucking good. I gave it a 9 out of 10 as well. My score could well go higher as the year goes on. Don't Back Down, Misread, Mammoth, Distance, but there are so many more tracks on this which is fucking absolutely phenomenal. There's not a dud moment on this record, so please do check it out and give us a listen, or give us your thoughts on this one too. I've got some cool comments going through here too. So Jeff's jumped in to say, imagine how proud his mum must be. Yeah, definitely. When people think Wolfgang, they just think he's the product of Eddie, but one has to remember that he is half his mother's son. She was massive influence on him as well. And yeah, very, very good point there. Very good. Nice to raise that one. Tim's jumped in to say, everyone talks about his musicianship, but his vocals are undersold. Yes, I completely agree. He sounds great on his own, and his voice is really definitely points for his voice. I think he's a great singer. Darren said, when Distance came out, I think in addition to the emotion of the song, people went, holy crap, Wolfgang can actually sing. So yeah, there we go. Tufts jumped in to say, absolutely flawless. That's all I can say. And Jeff also said, I'd love to see Mammoth open up for The Circle. That would be a show to remember. That would be pretty fucking impressive if that ever came about. I don't know if it would, but that would be one of those moments in time if that ever came about.
I wonder how many people were just waiting for him to sound like David Lee Roth.
Yeah, that's true. Or Sammy, for that matter. Or Sammy Hagar, for that matter. But he sounds like himself, which is fantastic.
He's a very, very good singer.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of the Paul McCartney about him.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah.
And he's not overly high pitched, but he's a little bit warm, and he's a little bit got a little bit of crackle there as well, which is nice.
Great tone, and the harmonies, when he's singing the harmonies, that really showed it off too. And I love this guitar playing too. He wasn't even trying to be Eddie, but he just gave little bits of hints here and there of, he's probably got more in the tank that he didn't want to show off too much, that kind of thing. I think there's more in there.
He played to his songs.
Yeah, that's it. And that's what it all comes down to. Like, the whole execution for me was fucking brilliant. Sally's jumped in to say, I'm emotional over this one. When Distance came out, I'd lost my sister only weeks before. Oh, wow. Condolences for your loss there. Wow, that would have hit. That. It's like being punched, really, yeah. I think we talked about it, I don't know, amongst ourselves anyway, but we had spoken about that song when it came out. And I think Dave and I mentioned it as fathers, that video.
Yeah, it gets you.
Like, if you've got kids, that song is... Jody and I were in tears watching that video and listening to that song. So, and that still hits just as hard. Just for us not having a personal experience like what Sally's just referenced there. So that's pretty powerful stuff. And at the end of the day, that's pretty much what it's all about as far as I'm concerned. Music is powerful when done in a way such as this album. And I really, really hope people take this album on. I really hope people just take it, because it's fucking well worth it. It's a great album. And for all can you imagine how nervous you'd be dropping this thing to the world?
Oh, man.
Fuck.
It'd be shitting bricks.
Yeah. It'd be nuts trying to get your head around releasing this one. Don't blame him for taking his time with it. Tim goes, he also comes across a really genuine guy. He could easily have an ego, but he's very humble. Yeah, very true. Everything I've seen of this bloke, there's not a sense of anything like that about him. He's just such a really warm personality, which I think, honestly, from the videos you see and what you hear about, it probably comes from his parents. Like, he's just... There are things he said. He didn't even know his dad was a famous musician until he saw his dad in all these photos, kind of thing. Like, they did a really good job, both of them, in raising this kid. And now he's doing his own thing. And that's the thing. He's doing his own thing. And I love that about him too. He's not trying to mimic in any way, shape, or form. He's being his own man, and fucking well done to him. How many other projects cash in and try and, ride the coattails? He's done nothing like that here.
Yeah.
All right. We've waffled. We'll keep moving. I'm going to put a link into the comments now for a petition to save community television. So if you could hit this link and sign your life away, quote unquote. Community television is, in theory, going off the air in, 17 days as it stands now, unless we get a report. Yeah, it's coming up really quickly. It's the 13th of June now. It goes off June 30. So if my math is correct, that's 17 days to go after this. Don't ask me. I failed maths in school, though, so I might be wrong. We're at this again. Happens almost every year, it seems. It's been a few goes around now, but we're trying to keep community television on the air. So please sign the petition, and if you feel so inclined, write your local member as well to keep community TV on the air. Speaking of that, for now, though, you can still watch us on TV, 10:30 p.m. Thursday nights on Channel 44 in Adelaide, and 10:30 p.m. Saturday nights in Melbourne on Channel 31. For now, our next special will be all about the band Metal Church, so that's coming up very, very soon as well. As always, let us know if there's anything you want to. Let us know if you've got any gigs, releases, or videos. Give us an inbox. Our email and stuff is in there as well, so do that. And check out our Spotify profile for our current listening. I'll put that link in your talk. I'll link the current listening playlist so you can keep up to date with what we're listening to, and check out the music before we go live. Our next stream is Tuesday night, which will be an interview with Nikki and myself with Keith from Rawtsim, which is a band we've been playing on the show a bit of late on TV. And we'll review that EP very soon too. And our next stream as a group will be on Thursday night, which is our Deep Cuts session. And in that one, we'll be reviewing Primitai, Garbage, and we'll be doing a classic review of a Black Sabbath album to get the conversation going on the Thursday night. But those are all the details there. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe. All of our details are in the description of this one, whether you're watching live or tuning in later on. Either way, thank you for joining us tonight. A big thank you to our sponsors too, in Squitting, Scrimping, Old Cotton, Rockstar Finance. Their details, just like ours, are in the description. Please find them, give them a follow too. And if you want to help us directly, check out our Patreon page, or our PayPal link is there too. Any and all help is greatly appreciated. So yeah, do or don't, but it's just there in case you do want to do it as well. But that's all the nonsense out of the way, all the preamble, all the usual shit that I do the promotional side of things. Now we get on to the fun part. Now let's have some fun. Let's go to the bin. And Tim, let's go to you first.
People particularly journalists, who use ridiculous units of measurements. Example: the new dinosaur being discovered in Australia, Titan or Southern Titan. Now, first of all, spanning the length of 2 buses, I'll give that a pass because I can visualize the length of 2 buses.
Yeah.
However, this massive long neck, the sauropod estimated to have reached 25 to 30 meters in length, 5 to 6.5 meters in height, and weighed the equivalent of 1,400 red kangaroos.
Just give us a kilo or ton weight, would you?
Fuck.
Why?
That's nuts.
This goes along with the 400 football fields in length or whatever kind of shit like that.
Yep.
Kilometers and meters.
Yep.
Kilos.
That'll do. Yep. That's nuts. I can't believe someone did the math on that to work out how many kangaroos it'd be.
But red kangaroos, not greys. Just to be sure. Reds. It's probably about 2,500 greys.
Yeah. Fucking hell, that is insane. I can't believe someone took that much effort to do that. That's bonkers. Fucking hell. Rightio, that's a new one. I haven't heard that one used before at all. Anything else you want to add to that, or are you vented now?
No, that really annoys me.
That's fucking dumb. Yeah, don't do that. Please don't do that. Tim's jumped in. Just say it was fucking huge. We can work it out from there. Completely agree. Fucking hell. All right, Dave, what have you got?
Been sitting there trying to figure out something to put in the bin because, as I mentioned at the start, been off work for a couple of days and I'm loving life. Everything's good. But I will go with a good old classic that I've noticed recently. Just fucking paranoia and bullshit spread on Facebook. My God, there's some stupid people out there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it at that. It can speak for itself. But
Yeah. No, there's plenty of that.
you can't do anything but shake your head at some of this bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sounds very similar to my last bin about the certain conspiracies about a certain politician. Fuck me dead. Insanity. All right. My one's a fun one. There are certain dimwit drivers out there, I'll tell you what. General road skills are going through the floor, but this guy in particular takes the fucking cake. You know when you're driving down a 2-lane road and it's all busy and all that sort of stuff, and someone comes out and then, the traffic in the left-hand lane try to stop to let the guy come across the right-hand lane. Someone's trying to be nice, so I have to fucking put the brakes on because he can't see, so he's trying to fucking creep out. So I've slammed on the brakes in the fucking Navara of all things. And we're driving around, and we let him go, and whatever else. He goes along in the right-hand lane for a few hundred meters. Keep going for a bit. Doing under the speed limit, which is annoying in the right-hand lane, but okay, whatever. You're being a dick. On his phone, carrying on like a fuckwit. And then, after about probably a K, maybe 2 Ks down the road, he then goes in the left-hand lane anyway. So all that holding up traffic was for fucking nothing. Okay? Do not be that dickhead. It is more than frustrating for the rest of us on the fucking roads. Fuck right off. I can't believe that shit. Just go and fuck off. That annoyed me no end. And then right afterward, it was funny because in the lounge, we got a comment today, I think, or yesterday about, shit drivers, P-players and that. There was on the way home from this particular drive we were on, just jumped in and say, shit, was that you, Andrew? Hey, if it was you, I would have fucking said something to you, but no, it wasn't anyone on you. But yeah, anyway, maybe you were the P player in the Ford I'm going to talk about, because there was a P player that came out of a fucking turn and just fucking started gunning it as he's going around the corner, getting fucking and right on the arse someone, like he was that far away from stacking it. And then his engine starts making all sorts of wacky, funny noises, and you see the guy in shame, pull over to the left, and his car ain't going nowhere anymore. Fucking sucks to be you, dickhead, for fucking pushing your car up someone else's ass. So there you go. Fuckwit of the year about there for me. Here we go. Tuff's gone in bin arseholes trying to cancel shows. Well, yeah, that's a thing too. There's a lot of that going on too. What? We need a tip to put all the bad drivers in. Yeah, that's true. We'll need a fucking more than a tip for that. But yeah, there's plenty of those going around. And for posterity, Fletcher, the Minister for Communications currently, he can keep going in there until he fucking keeps saving community television. They can keep going in there too. So speaking of cancelling TV shows, try not cancelling entire fucking stations, you prick. But yeah, here we go. Sally's gone. Road rage happens. People get out with a bat. I see it happen. Yeah, I don't condone that, but I do understand it in the case of the people I'm talking about today.
I don't condone it, but I condone thinking about it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But I think that's about it. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we start wrapping things up tonight?
No, good.
All good. All right. Well, we are on about that 90-minute mark that we like to try and wrap things up on at the latest, so we are going to call it here. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I hope you've had some fun checking this out. We'll cut and do little things to this to get a lot there as time goes on. But we'll see you all again very, very soon. Oh, before we do, Fletcher, you work for us, you prick. Yes, definitely.
Damn straight.
Damn right. But anyway, on that note, sign the petition, and we'll see you all again very, very soon. Until then, I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
Tim.
As always,
Drink up.
Rock on.
Beautiful. Alrighty, and now we'll do the usual thing where we say goodbye to the different platforms. So it's first of all, ta-ta to Twitter. We'll see you all again soon. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Twitter.
And next up is YouTube. We say goodbye to YouTube, including Tuff and Jeff. So thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you all again soon.